Welcome to Rita's Kitchen. Today I'll be teaching you guys how to make a Vietnamese style chicken meatball along with a demi-glaze barbecue sauce. First thing first, in my kitchen, as you guys know, you need to wash your hands. If you guys don't know how long to properly wash your hands, you want to at least wash them 10 to 15 seconds. Make sure you lather up the arm, down the hand, in between the fingers, and get up under those nail beds because you will be working with food. Now we're going to get started with making this Vietnamese chicken meatball. First, I'll be having me a sip of wine. Today I went with a Flirty Bird red blend. If anybody knows my husband who's watching my YouTube tutorials, his nickname is Bird. And the wine is actually pretty good. So first thing we're going to need, we're making those chicken Vietnamese meatballs. You're going to need 1 pound of ground chicken, 1 long stem green onion. You're going to do 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. You're going to do 3 to 4 tablespoons of fresh cilantro and basil. You're also going to be doing 1 stalk of the lemongrass. This is a fresh produce you can find in the fresh market near you. You're going to be doing white salt, ground black pepper, paprika, and a little accent for your seasonings. And I have about a tablespoon of each because I'm making a demi-glaze barbecue sauce with this meatball, so you don't need your seasonings to overpower the actual meat. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And what this is going to do is, this is for the rolling process. We'll get to that in a minute. So now we're going to start mixing the ingredients. That's your ground chicken. So we'll come back to that. That's the fresh cilantro and basil. We'll come back to this. I have to cut that. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of the minced garlic. Dump your seasonings. You want your cornstarch. And what that cornstarch do is, for you guys that might not know, it actually yields your food together, makes it stick together. Instead of an egg, you can use cornstarch. So now we're going to go back to that long green stem onion, chop it down. And you only need 1 with a pound of meat because you're also using a minced garlic, so you're getting some great oniony flavors there. Don't use the end, that's garbage. I'm going to show you guys how to actually use this fresh lemongrass. This is how the lemongrass look. But what you're looking to get out of this, you're not slicing it down. Really, you're going to take the end off, and what you want is the inside of this, which is the meat part of the lemongrass. And usually you will mention, but you can definitely cut it down that small, mint size. And this is another, like a strong flavor, so you guys could use as much as you want when it comes to this lemongrass. And the smell is really good, so the taste is even better. So I'm going to do 1 stalk for a pound of the chicken. And again, you would usually want to mince this, but you can cut it down to size, minching size. As you guys see, there's no specific pretty way to do it as far as when you're trying to get a really, really defined small cut. I'm gonna let my camera guy come in on this so you guys can see how small this got. That's about the size you want for rolling your meatballs. Next thing, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of that fish sauce. And that's probably about 6 to 8 shakes if you get a nice shake. So you can be the judge. And that fish sauce has a very funky little smell, but it's really good. So you get past that, you're good. So now what we want to do is, you got to get dirty with them hands. Mix all this around. After mixing, we're actually going to be rolling. And pretty much you just want to get deep down in there and get them flavors to going. It's going to get nasty, but cooking can get like that sometimes. So now I've mixed all the ingredients thoroughly into this ground chicken mixture. Now what I want to do is start the rolling process with our Vietnamese chicken style meatball. Because your hands can become very messy, but you can find ways to limit the messiness from feeling a bit sticky. But no matter what, it's going to get messy. So I like to dust my hands with some flour. So I put a little on a plate, and this is what I simply do. However you want to do it. So now for my cutting board, all I've used on it is vegetables. So again, no cross contamination. Now this is the granulated sugar. This is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. All I'm going to do is dust this across the actual cutting board, because what the sugar is going to do is actually bring a caramelization on the outside of that meatball. That caramelization is that darkened color, and that's that flavor you're looking for, is drawing out all that goodness from the inside out. So after doing that, you want to just take your cutting board, or even if you're doing it on your counter at home, that's fine. I do that too. Now, I use an actual scooper. This is like a 1 ounce scooper. So you can find these at a GFS, a food store. This small, you would have to go to certain stores. Like for my people from Cleveland, Ohio, go to Dean's. They got them right there for you. So anyway, I'm going to start getting these meatballs together. And this is going to help you a lot. So you want 1 ounce meatballs. So then you're going to roll together in your hand and just take and dust it across the sugar. You see how good that looks? That's going to bring that caramelization on the outs. So, and you just keep going. You just keep going until you're done with however many pounds of meat, or your 1 pound of meat you're going to be cooking. Again, see how beautiful that is? So with a meal like this, a 1 pound pack of chicken, ground chicken, Vietnamese style meatballs will feed anywhere from 3 to 5 people. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to get started with cooking these meatballs. What I did was I preheated the skillet, and what I used was a little extra virgin olive oil, maybe about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to pour a little bit of sesame seed oil. I love it. So, and I'm using it because the flavor is so good. So, and you want your skillet to be hot. You hear that sizzling? That's what you want to hear. And remember earlier, I told you guys you should get around 20 meatballs. I actually got 18. Close enough. So now what we're going to do, we're going to let those start cooking. I'm going to flip them over in about 3 to 5 minutes. You see that darkness that's in that skillet? Yeah, that's that sugar and those actual seasonings coming out. But that's the good thing. That's what's going to build me a nice demi-glaze barbecue. We're going to flip them over, and I'm going to show you what you guys are looking for on the outside of these meatballs. See how beautiful darkened they have gotten? Yeah, that's the good stuff. And these cook fairly fast. You want to cook these for about, these only take about maybe at the most 10 to 12 minutes, depending on how hot your skillet is. As you guys see, my skillet is hot, so my meatballs will be done real quick. That's what you guys are looking for. Now that our Vietnamese chicken style meatball is cooked evenly throughout, we want to transfer them from one skillet to the next. Reason we're doing that is because I'm going to build my demi-glaze barbecue sauce with all that yummy stuff in the bottom of the skillet. Show them how beautiful these are. And for you ones who don't cook, this is not burnt. This is caramelization. That ain't nothing but flavor. Flavor to your palate. Trust me, and please try it. Now I've transferred my Vietnamese chicken style meatballs from one skillet to the next. Now it's time to start building the demi-glaze sauce for these meatballs. Remember I told you I'm going to build my sauce from all that great seasonings that burnt in the bottom of that skillet. That ain't nothing but flavor. Get with it. Really good. So now I'm going to be adding, this is a demi-glaze base. You want to be careful with that. You want to do about maybe 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 2 table caps little ketchup, about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Ketchup is really good for sauces. Brown sugar, you know that kick up that flavor, that sweetness. Ain't nothing wrong with some sweetness. About 2 to 3 tablespoons. And now this is a chicken Vietnamese meatball, so I'm going to use a Knorr chicken bouillon flavor in this sauce. Maybe about a tablespoonful, because that's enough seasoning, because the meatball has done what it's gonna do. I'm going to actually get like 2 cups of water to go in this. And what I'm going to bring the actual demi-glaze sauce together with is a nice portion of cornstarch. Don't forget, if you don't know how to use it, be careful with it because it will lock up on you. Okay, now I got about 4 ounces of water. I don't want too much of a glaze. These are meatballs. I don't want to drown them in gravy or anything. And the flavor, again, the meatball has done what it's going to do. So about 4 to 5 ounces of water. You want to whisk your flavors together. And let that do that for about 5 to 8 minutes. Because again, your skillet should still be hot. So you should be on a roll doing what you do. I'm going and get me some cornstarch. I'm going to do about 2 nice spoonfuls. And again, what I'm going to do is use a little water just to break this down and add it to the sauce. That way I can see exactly what it's doing. And I literally only added 2 ounces of water just to break it down, just to get it mixed throughout evenly so I can see what it's going to do in my demi-glaze sauce. Oops, little handle was a little short. Got it out of there. Hands are always clean in the kitchen. Again, I put 2 ounces of water on that 2 spoons of cornstarch. I did that because you want to see what your cornstarch is going to do to your product. Because again, be careful with it because it will lock up on you. So I'm going to add this slowly. And see, I only literally added 1 ounce of that cornstarch and you can see the thickness forming. And that's really enough because you don't want it to be thick on your meatball because again, that meatball has done what it's going to do. So, I'm going to take those meatballs I transferred from this skillet to the next and add it back into my demi-glaze sauce. And you just want to fold it in. Get that sauce on there. Cut your stove off. My Vietnamese chicken meatball is done. Voila. Yes, I would like to thank you guys for watching my tutorial on Vietnamese chicken style meatballs. I just want to thank the audience who's actually watching and taking the time out of their personal day to give me some of your time. I would like to also thank One Hell of a Writer Productions, which is my husband. He's doing a hell of a job with recording and actually editing as well. Also, I would like you guys to know that there's another business to this thing we're doing. And it's Atir Catering and Event Planning. We offer catering, full service setup, breakdown, decor, and also centerpieces and more. So, also, I have a website you could go to, which is www.atircateringeventplanning.com. My email is ritaatir28@gmail.com, which is RITAATIR28@gmail.com. I'm also on IG, which is ATIR catering _1. Also, I'm on Facebook, Atir Catering. Again, Atir Catering. I am located in Jacksonville, Florida.